The crosses are no longer on the A-State helmets. Let's take a close look at what we got here. Now, we still have the initials of the two players that passed away, but there is no cross. For Razorback fans, all eyes are on Alex Collins, who has himself a choice. Should I stay or should I go? The trophies are starting to pile up as both the Naperville North boys soccer team and girls cross country team have won back-to-back state titles. Off to Loxtagala, Naperville Central with a 2-on-1. Loxtagala to Melby, 4-2. Beautiful pass by Mia Loxtagala. You know that feeling when you wake up early in the morning and get a lot accomplished and you feel so good about your day? Well, I normally don't because I stay up late and I wake up late, but the A-State football team definitely does. The Red Bulls finished their second practice. You go 21-24 for 255 yards and 3 scores in your very first career college start. Man, you've earned the player of the game. Neuqua Valley's Kevin Cordes might be running out of room because whether it's at the Olympics or at the World Championships, his swimming medals keep piling up. Really made a statement. Right now, Batesville, 4-0 in the 5A East, has to be the favorite to win the conference. Reporting live in Batesville, Kamen Entchev, Region 8 Sports. Sports fans love a rivalry. In baseball, you have the Yankees and Red Sox. In football, there's the Bears and Packers. At the high school level, it's tough to beat the crosstown showdown between the Huskies and Red Hawks. All about Freddie Knighton. This guy is just pouring it on the last few weeks. Back-to-back games with at least 300 pass yards, throwing touchdowns left and right. The 15-1 Trojans allow a nation low 55.8 points per game. The Red Wolves either didn't know that stat or simply just didn't care. And he said one thing, get in transition, get easy baskets. So that's something they want to do. Reese Coates will not start at quarterback today. Haston Orweiler will start for Pocahontas. He was actually the third-string QB at the beginning of the year. The Houston Astros won their first championship in team history. But here at Naperville North, the boys soccer team is going for its third state title and second in a row. Take the Red Wolves basketball teams, the football team, and the volleyball team. Arkansas State's a perfect 32-0 in Sun Belt play. When you dominate high school soccer as much as these two did, it's no surprise that they're successful at the next level. They're two key members of the Chicago Red Stars. The Hardwood Hogs have won their last 3 games by a combined 8 points. Today would be another nail-biter as Arkansas took on Florida. With 11 D1 college recruits and a top 5 national ranking, expectations are high for Naperville North girls soccer. Jonesboro really got started early and never looked back. Let's go straight to the highlights. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kamen Entchev. At 6-3, the Red Wolves were tied for second in the Sun Belt heading into today. A-State point guard Dante Thomas missing his second straight game with a hamstring injury, but Sean Gardner would pick up the slack. He hits the 3, then the defense backs off, and Gardner, you know what, he says, if you're not going to guard me, I'm going to bury another 3. He had 5 threes and 18 first-half points. Later, Gardner, with you guessed it, another 3. The Red Wolves up 37-35 at the half. Fast forward to the finish, 2 minutes left, A-State up 1, but Mike Hughes hits the huge 3, but back on the other end, Frederick DeRay on the drive to tie things up at 66. Just over a minute left, shot clock winding down, and Tookie Brown hits a 3 with the defense in his face to give the Eagles the lead. Last chance for A-State, 10 seconds left, down 3, and Sean Gardner gets a good look, but misses. The Red Wolves lose 71-66.
The 2 shots they made at the end, I would want them to take them again. They didn't run any plays. It wasn't any mistake we made defensively. They just rose up from 25 feet and shoot a 3 with the shot clock going down, and it goes in.
Drea Gamble and the ladies also taking on Georgia Southern. Red Wolves move the ball well today as they swing it around, and Jessica Flannery hits the 3 ball. Then more good passing, and this time Brown Haywood makes a corner 3 of her own, 14-13 Red Wolves at that point. Then Drea Gamble with a slight hesitation and the athletic finish off the glass for 2 more. Then Gamble, with you guessed it, another hesitation move and the left-handed finish for the 3-point play. Gamble had 20 for the game. A-State played great defense too. Brown Haywood with the steal, and she's going coast to coast for 2 more. She had 17 as A-State forced 17 turnovers. Late in the game, Kylie Ladd hits a jumper to celebrate her 19th birthday. The Red Wolves win 77-54 to go to 10-0 in conference and have a school record 20th straight home win.
Another good win. You know, they, as expected, After the other night, we expected to see zone majority of the game as we did, and thought we handled a lot better tonight. Our movement was better.
To the other side of the state, the Razorbacks hosting Texas Tech in a Big 12 SEC Challenge showdown. Aaron Ross won an Arkansas State title at Parkview when he took on Dusty Hannas and the Hogs, the Texas Tech transfer. First half, Hannas with a nice cut and the finish. You know he'd be hitting threes as well. Big triple right here. Hogs up 1 at the half. Hannas had 21 in the half, 25 for the game. Tech hanging around though. Ross with a bump in the bucket. He'd have 14 and 9. The game would head to OT. And Moses Kingsley with a board in the bucket of his own. He had 17 and 10. All his points came in the second half. Later in the OT, Anthlon Bell for 3, of course. The Hogs dominate the overtime and win 75-68.
What can I say? Another overtime game, and we came up on the right side of the, I guess, the column, so to speak, and it's a tribute to our guys.
To football, Darian Griswold representing A-State at the Senior Bowl, while Brandon Allen, Jonathan Williams, and Sebastian Tortola were the Razorback players, as all of them tried to show the NFL scouts what they're made of. The Cowboys' Jason Garrett also coaching the North Side. Dak Prescott was the big star as here he delivers a strike for the TD. The Mississippi State QB was the game MVP with 61 yards in that score. The A-State and Arkansas guys were pretty quiet except for Brandon Allen, who played great. A strike right there for Allen. He threw a game-high 106 pass yards. Later, more Allen, and again he'd go down the field. This is what they look for in the NFL. Down the field passes. He completed 7 of 10 passes for the game. The South team was in control throughout. Fourth quarter, Alabama running back Kenyon Drake, the backup, and he's just so good though, puts the game out of reach with a touchdown. The South team wins 27-16. So a huge, huge weekend for the Razorbacks. The Red Wolves, it's kind of odd. You know, they've beaten the good Sun Belt teams. They've beaten Little Rock, Georgia State, and they happen to lose to the bad teams, App State and Georgia Southern. Kind of crazy.
It's supposed to be the other way around.
It's supposed to be, but you never know. That's sports.
That's sport. You never know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kamen. And we also have a special treat to celebrate when we come back. Stay with us.
Drew Butel is a 10-year-old that has found this passion, wheelchair basketball.
I love all of it. And one of my favorites, though, is going fast. I love to have speed, and I'm very competitive.
Drew's dad is happy with how far his son has come.
Drew, at 15 months old, got transverse myelitis, which is inflammation of the spinal cord. He realizes now that just because he has a disability from his waist down, it's not going to hold him back. He can play competitive sports, any of them, just like anybody else can. He just needs his assisted tools.
What some people don't realize about wheelchair basketball is that some of the athletes like Drew actually walk on their own, but simply don't have enough mobility to run up and down the court, so they use the wheelchairs to play competitive basketball.
It's really weird when I compare it when I'm out and into my chair. It's a whole different perspective. I like being in the wheelchair because I can go fast, unlike I can out of my wheelchair.
I am one proud father, absolutely. To watch him from where he was at 5 years old and not necessarily knowing what was in his future. And in basketball, not necessarily knowing what offense and defense was. He would kind of go out onto the court and go back and forth to now be a leader on the team.
Drew plays for the Synergy Junior Bulls. The team practices every Saturday, and tournament play kicks off in December. Veronica Urban was a wheelchair basketball player and then decided to become a coach.
I would like people to realize that this is a sport and it requires a lot of commitment as any other sport would. And it's all about building your fundamental skills and your teamwork. A lot of kids come to the sport not just for the physical activity, but so that they can get that camaraderie and get that teamwork.
According to the National Wheelchair Basketball Association, there are about 2,700 total people in the sport, starting from youths all the way to the Paralympics. As for Drew, he plans on playing for life. Kamen Entchev, NCTV 17 Sports. Jeff Pagan turned 58 today, but unlike most people his age, he's a national champion powerlifter, a journey he started many years ago.
First started lifting weights in Mexico. I got married and my wife and I went to Mexico. We served there as missionaries for 17 years. The missionary that I trained under was actually a head football coach of a local university.
Pagan bought his own weight set from Walmart, and when the coach saw his progress, he asked him to be the team's weight coach. Pagan's team won 5 straight championships, and from there, opportunities opened up to travel around Mexico as a weight coach.
Myself as a missionary, this was very interesting. They would always ask me, well, how much do you charge for this training? I said, oh, no charge. It's absolutely free. I said, just for every 45 minutes of teaching that I do, I want 15 minutes of personal time with your players. And they were all like, hey, that's great.
Pagan came home to Jonesboro in 1999, where he continued to lift weights, but never competitively, until we saw in the newspaper that in 2011, a man his age and his weight class had set the Arkansas bench press record of 285 pounds.
And I looked at that and I thought, well, that's strange, because I was doing 3 sets of 10 at 275 in just my regular workout. So I thought it was a misprint. But I investigated and found out, no, that was the Arkansas state record for my age group and my weight class. And so I jumped in, started competing.
In his first meet, he broke that record and eventually went on to Raw Nationals, where he won first and set 2 more records in the process. Pagan only continues to get better because he's still relatively new at the deadlift and squat weights.
I really hope that within the next 2 years, if I can maintain the course that I'm on, when I turn 60, my existing lifts right now, I'll hold 3 of the 4 possible world records for my age group and weight class.
Pagan does all this in his free time. His day jobs include working at Pagan's Jewelry, driving school buses, and being a full-time pastor. But he's showing no signs of slowing down.
My first and foremost goal is to stay healthy. After that, I would truly love to go to an actual world competition.
Pagan benches 352.5 pounds, his deadlift is 462 pounds, and his squat is 446 pounds. One man that proves age is just a number. Kamen Entchev, Region 8 Sports. Hey everyone, I'm Kamen Entchev. Have you heard the saying that home court is worth 10 points in basketball? Well, Naperville Central and Mattia Valley have taken that to another level. The Mustangs lost by 21 at Naperville Central, but at home it was a different story. Ethan Helwig with a one-handed dime to Brad Hartge for the lay-in, 7-4 Mattia. But in the second quarter, Tyler O'Brien got hot from deep. Swish! Next time down the floor, O'Brien with the heat check. Yep, still hot. His second straight 3 makes it 29-23 Red Hawks. But on the other end, Helwig says, anything you can do, I can do also. A great drive as Helwig goes on his own 6-0 run. We're tied at 29 at the half. Third quarter, more Helwig, a deep 3. That's good as well, a game-high 23 points for the junior. Later, Helwig shows off his handles and a nice look to Holden Rank with a touch pass to Jens Peterson for the lay-in. Mattia pulls away in the fourth. Who else but Helwig? Another strong drive into contact and the finish. The Mustangs avenged last month's 21-point loss with a 17-point win. More basketball. Waubonsie Valley has been a streaky team, losing 4 straight games earlier this month. The Warriors now looking for their 3rd win in a row against the rival Wildcats. But Neuqua Valley would start the game on an 8-0 run. A good pass as here's Ryan Lake with a deep 2. That's good. Later in the first quarter, Lake to Noah Herdman in the corner for the 3 ball, 15-10 Wildcats. But from there, it was all Waubonsie and Marcus Skeet. He goes behind his back off to Eric Cannon, who hits the corner 3. Cannon had 16 points, but it's Skeet who was the star of the game. He did a little bit of everything. Watch him stay with this play, coming up with the steal and then some composure and strength for a nice finish so he can score down low. Check. How about from the outside? Check as well. The Warriors up 10 at that point. Skeet had a career-high 23 points plus 8 boards as here he keeps going for another 2. The Warriors win 65-49. We forget how few high school athletes actually go on to play in college. That's what makes senior night so special for our local kids. Both Waubonsie Valley and Neuqua Valley celebrating at Canlan. Early on, the Warriors were in control. Senior Cade Kenyon starts to play with the pass, and he also finishes it as the captain redirects the shot home for a 1-0 lead. The Warriors going crazy. Second period now, Kenyon and Zach Pierce play a little give and go, which ends with Kenyon slamming home his second goal of the game to make it 2-0 Warriors. But the play of the day belonged to Neuqua Valley's Tommy Kelly. Look at this stick handling. Kelly dangles past the defense and a top shelf snipe for the amazing goal. That would cut the lead in half. Same score in the third period, and Kenyon with a cross ice pass to Jack Flood, who buries home his 13th goal in conference play. The Warriors win 3-1 and finish the regular season 4th in the Illinois West standings. That's sports. Kim, back to you.